Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Megan, and today I'm going to be discussing episode 7 of The Traitors. So let's get into it. Okay, so this episode, knowing how hype it was, I feel like it was very underwhelming, in my opinion. I think the banquet, it was like super short. I don't know if it was meant to be super short, but I feel we didn't get enough out of the banquet, like enough drama. Like I feel like there was stuff that held back for how much Alan and everyone was hyping up about this specific episode. I don't know if it's because Jam Jam was the one that got the murder in plain sight. However, it was really interesting when he got murdered. He spoke about Lisa being a traitor. I feel like that completely changed the tone for the rest of the dinner, and I feel like the entire episode, it was just about like getting Lisa out. I know the next day at breakfast, everyone was like on to Natalie. You know, Steven even had his moment as well. But like, I don't know. I think it was just like we all knew Lisa's demise was coming. I really wish like Jam Jam didn't say anything or something like that, because then I don't know. I just wish there was just like more to it, I guess. I think if like Natalie or Kristen maybe would have been murdered, I think it would have been slightly different, but considering it was Jam Jam, I feel like that was a huge loss, because some people do suspect Jam Jam could be a traitor, which I think there's potential there for him to be a traitor from like a Faithful's perspective. So I think that just really put a knockdown on the traitors. I think he would have been like a great shield to keep in the game, but sometimes you can't control who touches something, who doesn't touch something. I just feel like a safer bet would probably been maybe Natalie or Kristen. Maybe Kristen probably be a safer bet, because Natalie's still a gamer. So you have Natalie and Jam Jam as the gamers, but now you only have one gamer now. So I don't know. It was just really interesting, because I don't know. I feel like I left me wanting more, and we didn't really get more. I thought the challenge was really great. I actually really liked it, even though it probably suited the men more than the women. But I liked how one of the housewives are like, housewives in the wild, because all three of them were on the same path. And then you had Rob, Steven, Colton. Who else was up there? Like Natalie, I think, was the first one to get up to the top. And then like Eric. I wonder if Rob saying that he was getting tired as they were walking up the hill, and Colton's like, I got you. I wanted to know in the moment if like Rob had a confessional saying that he was like manipulating Colton in that moment, because I was just like, I feel like Rob wouldn't get tired of holding something or holding all the gold or whatever, and Colton's just like, yeah, I got it, don't worry. And so in my mind, I was hoping like Rob was going to be at the confessional being like, you know, I'm playing this off or something like that. And that didn't happen. So I'm like, well, maybe he was super tired of carrying all of this gold to the top of the mountain or wherever they were supposed to be going. I will say one of my favorite parts was when Rob was at the circle or whatever that table is, and then the rest of them are on the other side, and Alan is, you know, hosting this little session of figuring out who's lying to him, or asking him questions and figuring out who's lying. And that was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Like the shot of Rob, and then like the shot of everyone else, and then like his confessional about like reading people. And like, he's like, are you sure about that? Like, just everything was just so good. It was like tense. And I love the edit and everything of that entire scene. And it just like felt like I was there. And he was like interrogating me. And it was so great. I actually loved it. I actually didn't know who had the sword. And then he's like, Natalie. I didn't think Natalie would have the dagger, but she was the one who ended up having it. And then I guess I didn't really realize that she wasn't making eye contact with him. But the other three guys did literally make eye contact and answered. And I don't know. I just love, it was just like so cinematic. I just absolutely love that scene. It's probably one of my favorites this episode. On to the round table. So going into the round table, you have Natalie's name that's being thrown around, and then you have still Lisa's name that's being thrown around. I thought it was just really interesting, because I feel like Rob is just getting so excited in this game as a traitor that I think he sees the more that Lisa's in the game, the more reliability she is to his game. So I understand why he was, more initiative on dead set of getting Lisa out at this particular time in the game. Because one, she's already out, she's already on the way out the door, basically. And then second, he needed to get the Faithfuls kind of on board. And I think he did this really good at the round table, where he was trying to let everyone know to set emotions aside and look at it from the game perspective, because as Faithfuls, the Traitors are beating them at the game right now. And so it's like there's so many distractors, there's so many emotions, and I think this is like the one benefit of the lack of gamers at this particular point in the game, which I think Rob is kind of carrying that aspect as a Traitor and kind of have more of like a gamer mindset, is that you need to look at it objectively, and you need to take emotion out of it. But we know how people who aren't from game shows, it's just like real life. Like, it's just high intense emotion all the time, and they're going to say and feel what they do, which is great because it has like a nice balance. But it's just crazy to see that Rob is the one that's kind of like help controlling that emotion at the round table and kind of taking the lead there, and kind of hopefully bring everyone back down to be like, hey, what are we exactly here for? Like, the Traitors are, killing us at this own game right now. Like, we need to be looking at things objectively and sometimes taking emotion out of it, because it is a high stake game. Like, Natalie's gonna say stuff like Portia said stuff. Like, people are gonna be saying stuff that they normally don't really say, and they aren't like thinking straight because you're in this environment where maybe you don't know how to control emotions. Natalie, knowing she's a gamer, she really let her emotions loose. But it was interesting how he was the one to kind of get everyone back on the ship and to steer it. And you see in the confessional, Colton's trying to take a step back and realize that he is being too vocal in the group. So now, like, Rob is kind of taking over a little bit. The only thing I'm worried about is that because he's starting to take a lead, is that going to come off as someone who is a traitor, someone who's like leading the pack? I know he's gained trust with a lot of the Faithfuls, and now he kind of seems to be in that driving position for them. I'm just worried if it'll come back and people will notice and step back and be like, hey, Rob is kind of, controlling a lot of what's happening now. Is that something that we should, look into? Because he was kind of laid back, and he does kind of play aloof. But obviously in the confessionals, you know how bright and smart he is. And so I feel like he has a little bit of that gamer attitude in him. And I think he's just getting ramped up. And it's fun to watch, but I'm just like, I don't know if it's the edit that's making it exaggerated in terms of how it's being presented in the roundtable and how we are seeing it as a viewer. But I think he's just like ramping up into like the next gear. And so it'll be interesting to see how he copes going forward. Like, the teaser, he has impeccable eye contact, and it's just great. He's like, you don't trust me. Like, he's so good at eye contact. I absolutely love it, because you could just tell eye contact's a form of communication and emotion. And it's just like, he could just like have a staring contest with someone and he'll probably still win. I'm excited to see him and Candace and what they do going forward, because honestly now they're kind of on level playing field, because they're both playing a faithful game, but they're like on opposite sides of the house. Like, the house is kind of split a little bit in terms of like a clique. So Rob's on one side and Candace on the other side, which is actually kind of good going forward if they had trust in each other as Traitors, because they aren't necessarily in the same groups, but they can bring the knowledge from those groups to come together and kind of figure out who they're going to murder going forward. Which, by the way, I have no idea who they're going to murder. I'm trying to think who would a safe bet be. I mean, I can obviously see like Colton being murdered. If it's Colton, I feel like it wouldn't be a bad idea. However, I think Colton's a good shield, particularly for Rob. I can see Rob just taking Colton to the end and then like cutting him, or keep him as long as possible as a shield for the round table. Definitely probably want to murder someone low-key. Try to think of all the people that would be suspected as a traitor. So I definitely wouldn't be killing Natalie or Colton. someone who's obviously a faithful would be Tara. Who else is the obvious faithful? Probably Kristen or Eric, but Rob is close to Eric, so he probably doesn't want to murder him. I feel like Candace is probably going to take the lead in the turret on this particular murder, but Lord knows what she's gonna want to do. But I feel like Rob is good at talking to people. I feel like he has really good social skills, interpersonal social skills. So I feel like he could reel Candace back in, but Candace is going to do what Candace wants to do, no different than Rob's going to do what he wants to do. But at the end of the episode, it seems like he doesn't even want to heal him and Candace's relationship. Like, he's just ready to be on his own and to continue with the faithfuls that he trusts in for the game. I don't know what Candace should be doing in her situation because, like I said, they're playing similar games. It's just they're on opposite sides of the house in terms of, I think, loyalty. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm here for the drama. I'm here for the drama. And now you only have, Dorinda and Candace for the housewives left. And then you only have Natalie as a gamer. And then you have the other odds and ends people. I can't really tell if there's any other signs of traitors in the castle besides, Colton and Natalie. Because I feel like Jam Jam was such a huge loss. I feel like he could have been a great shield. So I'm hoping that Rob doesn't get found out. Because I want him to win the game. He's kind of like how I wish Dana Parvati played in season 2. So yeah, I'm really excited for next week. The ending clip with Rob and Candace. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's going to be interesting how they interact with the house, because if they're having a one-on-one there, and then all 3 traitors were the first one into breakfast in this episode, and then they had the 3 of them in the kitchen. So I wonder if we're going to see Candace and Rob interact more in the house now, because she put his name on the elimination at the round table. So I wonder if they see them together, maybe they'll, hash whatever they have going on. So I think they're going to have to watch out for how they interact as well. That's it for my review on episode 7. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.